All right, welcome back, everyone, to the press conference. It's May 13th, 2021, my father's birthday. And we are talking about the chrysalis. So I'm going to screen share a little bit because there's really two chrysalises I'm talking about, or as Eric, the teacher, would say, chrysali. I'm not sure he'd say that, but I thought it'd be fun to say. Anyway, so there's, if you can see my screen, there's the big chrysalis, which I'm just going to draw as this big oval here. And then there's the little project we're doing down here, which I'm calling Chrysalis Calendar.org, right? But when I say the chrysalis, I'm talking about this big thing up here, which is the chrysalis, the planetary chrysalis, the multifaceted, all-inclusive planetary chrysalis. That's what I'm talking about. And part of the reason I'm so interested in talking about this is that this little thing we're doing down here, today it's little, tomorrow it might be big or it might not, but that actually doesn't matter. The chrysaliscalendar.org, what we're doing here points to and is in service of the bigger chrysalis, which is what I really want to talk about right now. And some of you, if will remember from a few days ago, maybe it was Monday, I think, I drew this kind of big, complicated picture about the chrysalis. And therein, I drew these little squares that I'm highlighting in green right now that look like these little matrices. These are calendars plural. And my intention is precisely that our chrysalis calendar be one of many chrysalis calendars, right? That focus on events related to the chrysalis. But before we can really properly launch our chrysalis calendar, or any chrysalis calendar for that matter, we first need to get clear on the big picture. What is this chrysalis thing that we're talking about? What is it fundamentally? And what differentiates it from something that's something else that's not chrysalis? And so I made a list up here. Hopefully you can see that okay. And what I'm pointing to, and I'll just run through this list really quick and then let's talk about it, okay? What I'm saying is, and this is my version of the chrysalis. I want to hear everyone's thoughts on this because ultimately I'd love it if we could reach some consensus on what is the chrysalis. And I don't think it's going to be that hard, but it's going to take some conversation to get there. The first point is collapse versus not. Are we in a process of collapse or are we not? My version is yes, and I'm doing this as a big bifurcation. I want to create like a really clear bifurcation between the chrysalis and everything else. So in the chrysalis, and I'm just going to speak for the chrysalis, but please note this is, of course, my opinion, right? Not, you don't have to agree. Please feel free to disagree. But the chrysalis acknowledges the collapse. People who are not part of the chrysalis don't acknowledge that collapse is happening. The chrysalis is all inclusive and holistic. It's the whole world. Everything must be transformed in one giant holistic process versus separate, I and my projects are special, right? They may well be, but until and unless they're integrated with the chrysalis, they're really missing the boat. The third bullet point, radical versus not. It speaks for itself. The chrysalis says radical, let's go radical, let's get to the roots, versus, put lipstick on the pig, superficial, BS. We need to get truly radical. We need to do this. The fourth bullet, everyone must participate versus only a specialized class of special people. Our goal, those of us who are in the chrysalis, as I think of it, our goal is to recruit everyone. My name is Harvey Milk, and I'm here to recruit you, to quote Sean Penn from the great movie Milk about Harvey Milk. Centralized versus decentralized. I believe the Chrysalis should and must be decentralized versus, centralized that says, oh, only the government or only this specialized class or only I get it and you all need to listen to me and maybe pay me money or something. Another thing is revolutionary versus evolutionary. I think the clock has run out on our opportunity to incrementally evolve, slowly but surely. It's time for revolution, but a very peaceful revolution. Revolution doesn't mean violence. Revolution means everything must transform. The next bullet, Chrysalis says urgency. The caterpillar, pre-Chrysalis, which is undergoing collapse right now, the caterpillar says, no, we have time. We have plenty of time. We have until 2030, or we have until 2050 or 2100 or whatever, right? So that's a clear bifurcation. The Chrysalis says 24/7. There need to be conversations happening 24/7. That doesn't mean you need to be awake and in all of them, because there need to be thousands in parallel. But, and that hence the urgency for Chrysalis calendars, plural, many Chrysalis calendars in addressing different languages, different cultures, different facets of the Chrysalis, what have you, or all of the Chrysalis. But there need to be Chrysalis meetings happening all the time. The next point, inviting with urgency versus looking good. Looking good says, no, I need to look good before I can invite. No, the Chrysalis says, no, this has to happen now. Collapse is happening now. We're overheating exponentially now. We need to invite with urgency right now. Another, making it happen. Chrysalis says we got to make this happen now versus virtuous signaling. I used the example earlier today of meetings that are happening on peace. Hey, peace is great, but if it's not a piece of the Chrysalis, if it's not happening within the Chrysalis, it's missing the boat. And I think too many meetings and too many efforts out there right now are about virtuous signaling and not enough about the Chrysalis and all of us coming together, not looking good, not signaling virtuous, but saying, hey, the planet's on fire. We need to cool it. The caterpillar is breaking down. Life is breaking down. Collapse is happening. Let's get together and sort this out in a radical way, in a radical revolutionary way. Next bullet, we need to do it now versus, let me sort out the money part first. We need to make this profitable. Let's talk money. No, forget money. We need to do it. The next bullet, collective superintelligence, this network of conversations of which this is one part. Look, the whole idea, let me get off screen share for a second. Look, the whole idea of the Chrysalis calendar and all Chrysalis calendars is that we form this hyper-connected network of conversations where each conversation is aware of all the others, right? And has ways to do searches and find the other conversations on specific topics. So we can all hyper-connect and travel around and each become ambassadors throughout different parts of the Chrysalis, right? All right. Collective superintelligence versus remaining stuck in the all-day Monopoly game, which is all about separation. Separate. I'm focusing on my little project or whatever, and I'm trying to attract people to my project versus attracting people to the Chrysalis, the network, the collective superintelligence. The next bullet, a singular decentralized movement versus, let a million flowers bloom separately, right? No, we need to get together. We need to be together. We need to integrate into one tightly integrated network. The final bullet, Chrysalis first versus my project first. If you got a project, great, but bring it to the Chrysalis. Make it part of the Chrysalis versus your own thing somewhere else. It's all about the Chrysalis at this point, because until we get together, form the collective superintelligence as this network of conversations, right? We're missing the boat. With that, I'm going to go on mute. what do you, and the topic here, to be very clear, is the chrysalis. What is it? What are its bifurcating elements, right? And the movement, the revolution around the chrysalis, getting everyone into the chrysalis. That's what we're talking about here. If it's another topic that you have, please hold it for later. Not now. Right now, we're talking about the chrysalis. What is it? What are its bifurcating elements, right? What is the radical revolution we're calling the chrysalis? With that, I pass the talking feather. Please jump in. Love to hear from you.
It's Michael. So I think it's a uniting principle. I think it's perfect. I think we should not let perfection get in the way of the good. I think we're totally on our way. And I think I would love to start broadcasting, or I love that service called MailChimp where people can provide their emails and then they're on our mailing list. You know, they do it for us. Oops, just spilled my bong, but for emphasis. But I that's one idea. But to broadcast, hey, we're out here, we're ready for you when we're ready, which will be very soon once Trove gets launched, and we can invite folks to join Trove too. You know, so it's part of we're needing to do a little marketing to broadcast us out there. I believe,
Okay,
so that we can grow
yeah,
the crystal.
let me just be clear, because we started to get sidetracked a little bit ago on this very thing, which is we're not talking about chrysaliscalendar.org in this meeting right now. We're not talking that specific website and broadcasting it and all that. That's very important, but it's not for this meeting. Right now, we're talking about what is the chrysalis. You see, that's a totally separate thing. Very important, but not this meeting. This meeting is about the chrysalis. What is the thing? Because until and unless we get clear on that, we're not going to be ready to launch any website. So back to it. If you got something to say about the chrysalis and what it is, please jump in and talk. If it's something else, please hold it. And I'm happy to clarify. So if you have a question, hey, is this relevant? Just ask and I'll answer, just like I'm doing right now. It's all good, but just staying on track here. So with that, I pass the talking feather. What do you have to say about
Save the world now. That's it.
Yeah, save the world now. Thank you. Perfect.
Done.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Save the world now, not next month, not next year, not by 2030, but now. And now means let's all get together. Great comment, Robert. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's also about, we have to acknowledge as well that there is no magic bullet for this. There's multiple magic bullets necessary, but there's also a priority list for those magic bullets. And everybody's efforts, no matter how small, will contribute in some way or another to the greater good. There's nobody denouncing anyone's efforts, but we need to come together. So that's what it is. It's convincing people to come together, regardless of what effort they can put in. But that we have to figure out the priority list. There is no one magic bullet. There's a number of them, and we need to figure out which one goes in the barrel first.
Beautiful, beautiful. In fact, I'm looking here. I've got an image that I'm going to pull up for what James just talked about the silver bullet, magic bullet. There's a whole bunch of magic bullets. Just ask Pancho Villa. Okay, so look at this image of Pancho Villa. Okay, you see all the bullets across his chest. There's a whole bunch of magic bullets. The chrysalis is all of these bullets held by a common bullet belt, or whatever you call that thing, magazine, whatever, right? That's the chrysalis right there. So yes, bring your separate, individual, unique, and yes, special bullet, but until and unless it's lodged in that, you know, machine gun belt of all the magic bullets together as one single chrysalis, it's missing the boat. A singular chrysalis with a buttload of magic bullets. So thank you, James. All right, passing the talking feather. Sister Ivy, you're unmuted and making noise. Does that mean you're ready to talk? Go for it.
I was thinking, but I didn't want to interrupt you before, but just thinking because we do have new people to this, and thinking about just bringing the definition of chrysalis, just the general definition of chrysalis. like I said, because for the new people, and I found one very interesting one was the hardened protective case made by an enclosing a moth or butterfly pupa, and also made me think about this is the protection for all beings, human and non-humans, on the earth. So it made me think also of the
Okay, you just went on mute, so we didn't hear the very last thing you wanted to say. Humans and non-humans was the last thing I heard.
also know that it is protection. And the other definition says a shelter, stage, or state of being or growth. And this is what we are about, growing and growing, but growing all together instead of in just, of course we grow always individually, but I mean growing all together as one. So just wanted to bring that. Thank you for all your good work.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sister Ivy.
There's a few good things in there in terms of what is the chrysalis. There's a few really good things in there. The first is there's the idea of a boundary, of a membrane, the protective idea, right? The idea of protection from the vicissitudes of the outside world, a place to grow and to change. That's I mean, all of those things really important. So, I mean, I guess at its very, very simplest level, what is the chrysalis? It's a space. It's a protected space within which transformation can occur, something like that, right? That's it. So it's very simplest form.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, a protected space where we coalesce towards transformation.
Love it. Love it.
I must say, I feel like I'm in class.
Welcome to class. You got some really great teachers here, and I think you're probably a great teacher yourself. So welcome to class. And we're
Yeah.
all each other's teachers. That's the whole centralized versus decentralized. We're all teachers to each other. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, protective space. I'm taking notes. All right. Great. Let's keep passing it around. And by the way, even if you just have a question, questions are welcome, right? Or something's not clear. You know, that's why we're talking, is to help make things clear. That's our point here. So confusion, welcome. Even if all you have to say is I'm confused, let us just say it, and then we'll take it from there. It's kind of like a glass beads game without the timer. Just spit it out. And don't worry about perfection. Don't worry about looking good. And I'll jump in since no one else is, you know, since we're talking about, you know, the chrysalis, I think the opportunity here is to define a planetary movement that has a very clear meaning, right? That people can share easily with a story and talk about it, but in a totally decentralized way. So it's not about, hey, come to my website and pay me money. No, no, no. It's about join the chrysalis. And there's thousands of portals of entry. Pick your portal, but join the chrysalis. What is the chrysalis? It's the following elements. It's imaginal cells, all of us, and all of you watching this. You're an imaginal cell. You may not know it yet, but you are an imaginal cell. We need you to wake up and plug into the chrysalis. We're a bunch of imaginal cells who acknowledge collapse, who acknowledge that collapse is happening and that nothing is more important than us coming together and forming a hyper-connected chrysalis of imaginal cells, recruiting other cells to wake up and become imaginal cells, right? And all of us together forming a hyper-connected network of conversations, which is the very definition of collective superintelligence, with a singular aim, a singular but multifaceted. This is part of the yin yang. There's yin yang all over the chrysalis. It's a singular but multifaceted, multi-silver bulleted, thank you, James, aim, or telos in Greek, forming the basis of a teleological taxonomy, which we'll talk about later, but a singular but multifaceted aim of saving, healing, and transforming life on Earth. Right? Through the application of collective superintelligence. You see, it's kind of like we're sitting in a garage with all of the parts necessary to create this supercomputer that's like not just next generation, but like 20 generations ahead, right? If not 50, called collective superintelligence. We just need to put the parts together. Well, we are the parts, and putting them together means jumping into the conversation and putting your conversations not onto the Chrysalis calendar, because there isn't just one. Remember, it's decentralized. Putting it onto a Chrysalis calendar, and with the faith that the Chrysalis calendars will find each other, which is inevitable, and will hyperconnect, right? So jump into the conversation and or start your own conversation that's about the Chrysalis or a facet of the Chrysalis, but that always connects to the Chrysalis, not a lone bullet, but a bullet in the Pancho Villa, you know, shoulder strap of bullets, right?
I got some bullets.
What you got? Go.
Just using technology to our advantage. You know, the latest, greatest, you know, whatever they may be, apps, technology, you know, software programs, you know, that kind of thing, to our advantage, using the tools.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Using technology, but in service of the Chrysalis and the
Yeah,
aim.
right.
Of the, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and to add to that, convincing the separate cells that we already actually have the technology or the ability to come up with the technology to actually, you know, render every one of those bullets live. We just need to come together to do that. Like, so we, you know what I mean? We need to come together and put the gunpowder in the bullets. Basically, we have the technology. It's already there. We just need to get our shit together. That's it. Like.
Exactly. We have the technology. We have all the parts. We have all the parts to put together this, you know, 50 generations forward supercomputer. We have all the parts. We just need to plug them in. What does that mean? You are a part of it. You may not know it yet. Jump into the conversation, which is how you find your place within this emergent chrysalis, and make sure the conversation that you're in is up on a Chrysalis calendar, not the Chrysalis calendar, because there isn't just one, but a Chrysalis. And that's it. That's how we put the supercomputer together. That's how we form this hyper-connected network of conversations that has the Chrysalis mark all over it. So there's one thing we do need to create, which is the Chrysalis mark, which is something Michael mentioned. So I'm just going to, so we need some form of a kind of a decentralized logo, if you will, a Chrysalis mark.
How about within the chrysalis transformation occurs.
Within the, okay, as a slogan, you mean? Kind of like that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, within the chrysalis, transformation occurs. Got it, got it. No, I like that, James. In fact, I love slogans, and I love this story that we're putting together. And my faith is that through repeated application of these meetings, where we keep hashing it out, rehashing what we came up with last time, coming up with new parts that may be missing that we can contribute, we continuously refine, perfect, and make concise and very clear exactly what the chrysalis is, so that it can be faster and easier to convey. We need to be able to invite it quickly to everyone. Join the chrysalis, join the chrysalis. Look, here's 20 chrysalis calendars spanning 5 different languages. Take your pick and plug in, but join. So it just becomes like this battle cry, right? To join the chrysalis revolution, the chrysalis movement. See, we don't even know what to call it yet. I'm just calling it the chrysalis, right? So that's what we're talking about here. Anyway, love it. Going on mute, passing the talking feather.
So it's a home, really, isn't it? I mean, that's another way of defining it. It's a home. It's a home base for everyone. Like, you know, once you're in the chrysalis, you're a home. You're among familiars. You're among friends, and you're among those who are willing to contribute and help.
Beautiful. I love it. It's a home. It's also a family. We're a family. We're creating a family of imaginal cells, right? A tightly integrated family. And Miranda, pardon me, but I forgot to mention, we were having a pretty cool time before you showed up. But listen, Miranda, with you here, now it's perfect. So thank you for being here. And you know, and that goes for all of us imaginal cells. Without you, it would be incomplete. With you here, it's perfect. And the more imaginal cells we have joining the chrysalis, the more perfect it gets. Welcome home. Welcome home, Miranda. Welcome home, everyone. This is home. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Welcome to the family you never knew you were always wanting. That's the chrysalis. That's us. Welcome home.
It's love alchemy.
Love alchemy. I love it. Let me write that down. I love that.
Yeah. What did was it you, James, who was it given the slogan? Can you say it again?
Within the chrysalis, transformation occurs. Go ahead, James.
Nice. Transformation.
Within the chrysalis, transformation occurs.
Nice.
And so we can synthesize this as a bunch of slogans, or as a single story, or as poetry, or as art, all the above, but it needs to be tight. And there doesn't necessarily have to be one singular expression, right? There's a bunch of different languages and a bunch of different cultures and a bunch of different age groups and a bunch of people coming at this from, you know, different angles. I mean, there need to be rap songs, you know, for people who listen to rap, right? That talks about the chrysalis. There needs to be classical music there need to be testimonials. Absolutely. People talking about their stories, right? What does the chrysalis mean to you? What's it been like for you waking up as an imaginal cell, realizing that we're in collapse and that we all need to come together and form this collective superintelligence? What's it been like for you? Absolutely.
I like what you said, brother. Did you hear, everybody? Need to be all kinds of good songs with different music. So remember that. The other day, someone brought a beautiful song and shared it with us. So please feel free to do that. I do it and anyone can do it. So beautiful thing for those breaks. Bring us some good songs with beautiful music. We will love it. So feel free to share the good.
Beautiful, Sister Ivy. Yeah. And I love this exploratory co-creative conversation. We are imaginal cells who are just waking up with what I call sticky eyes. Imagine we're just waking up within the goo of the chrysalis, right? Amidst the ruin and flames of the breaking down, dissolving caterpillar, we're waking up and finding each other. And it's so wonderful to realize we're not alone. Welcome home to the family you never knew you always needed and wanted to be whole. And it's beyond family in the old sense. It's way beyond that. It's deeper than that. We are realizing that we are one. We are uno, as my sister Ivy would say. We are one. The chrysalis is one. Outside the chrysalis, we all perish. Together, we not only survive, we thrive, we transform, we co-create a whole new world. That's what we're up to, saving, healing, and transforming life on Earth. And if you add the word in, go ahead, Sister Ivy.
No, I was going to say wonderful. Yes, but you brought this concept of home, and it's so wonderful because we are taught from the very beginning that home is one home, right? And sometimes we stay with that concept, just the home with our parents are, and maybe our siblings, or maybe the city or the state. And if we don't get out of that good and original concept of home, then we can't grow. I can share I had to get out of many homes to be able to be doing the little more that I do for the whole society. Because sometimes that concept of home is so limited that we just keep going in that little circle and staying in that little circle uh, and not, going out to the chrysalis. So I'm just bringing that as some, food for thought. Very important to expand that concept of home the same way to expand the concept of family and think about a bigger picture of family, think about a universal family, and that will get us out of the limited thinking of where we do good, because a lot of times it gets to be a selfish thing. It's my family, everything for my. So it ends up being the same as other selfish concepts that we have in the system. So expanding those concepts, home and family, to a universal home and universal family. And I'm sharing this because it's a conscious work that we need to do, so that we can contribute more to the big picture. So just sharing that.
Yeah, I like the idea of having a notion of family around the chrysalis too. And the other thing that was occurring to me was like a family of pioneers, right? There's adventure, discovery, pioneering spirit, that kind of thing is another dimension to it that occurs.
You could also say pioneers is one way of looking at it, but we could all consider ourselves a future, family of survivors, because that is what we're ultimately talking about here, is our survival. And so within the chrysalis we'll transform, outside of it we'll face the storm. You know what I mean? So that's both sides of it.
Beautiful.
is ultimately that, like at the end of the day, isn't it? I mean, we're fighting for our survival. There's no two ways of looking at about it, and there's no way of, I mean, yeah, that, you know, we can look at the bright side of things in life and everything else all we want is, but unfortunately the dark side of things are taking over the bright, you know, until we start getting, you know, up and off our asses and doing something about it. So it is ultimately about our survival. That is what we need to get, the message we need to get across to get people into the calendar and on board. Like.
Yeah, beautiful, James. I would add we're fighting not just for our survival, we're fighting for everyone's survival. We're fighting for the survival of all of life on Earth, because the whole world is the chrysalis. It just doesn't know it yet, right? Most of the world right now is a breaking down caterpillar that attacks the imaginal cells. Hence the element of protection, the protective layer, the membrane, et cetera, and family. We, you know, because what does family do? We protect each other, right? So we need protection from those that see us as the enemy. I've talked about the character assassination attempts that have been made against me by another transformational network. They call themselves a transformational network, right? But it's becoming more and more clear to me they're actually a cult. So we have to be very wary of cults. We had a really great meeting on Monday. I think a number of us were there in the Kiko Lab meeting about cults. That was fascinating. And so I think one of the things about the chrysalis is it's decentralized. That's one way that prevents any one part of the chrysalis from becoming a cult. It is decentralized, very transparent, open, and encourages cross-pollination within the chrysalis, right? As opposed to, okay, no, just right here, it's just us, yep, nod, nod, wink, wink. No. We seek to invite everyone, include everyone, and venture out and connect with everyone else within the chrysalis, the decentralized chrysalis, the decentralized network. And we're just figuring this out. That's what's so exciting. Passing the talking feather. You know, another thing I just drew up in terms of memes, right? This is a little bit controversial, but here it is. The aim is saving, healing, and transforming life on Earth. What acronym does that? Saving, healing, and intentionally transforming life on Earth. So one acronym or slogan that we could come up with for that is the chrysalis is the shit. Anyway, really. And again, different songs, different poetry, different memes for different audiences. So, you know, if you see a group of teenagers standing around, you know, smoking cigarettes with their pants pulled down, you can see their butt cracks, you know, they're all like, yo, and they're talking jive and being cool and everything. Say, hey, what's up? You know what? Guess what? The chrysalis is the shit. They're like, oh, really? What's that? Well, check it out. Right. So we need safe places for, you know, who I refer to as ass crack teenagers to join and plug in. We should have an ass crack teenager hour on the Chrysalis calendar. Are you an ass crack teenager? If so, join us. The chrysalis is the shit. Anyway, I'm being a little bit extreme, but to make a point that we need thousands of friendly portals, right? That appeal to different people from, again, different languages, different cultures, different age groups, different backgrounds, different orientations, different musical preferences, different whatevers, right?
Right. I think that's so important to, especially to break off through all this generation and color and race. And I mean, it needs to include everybody. Yes. needs to include everyone, different audiences, yes. And I think the multi-generational aspect is very, very important. We're never going to do anything if it's just the older people versus the younger people or any other thing, but that multi-generational, I'm so glad that you brought it up, because it's a very important thing that we need to break through. It's amazing how even sometimes grandparents with the newer generation already, think that they don't have so much in common, but there's always so much that we have in common, no matter what. But this, because this system is so much made about age and appearance, that multi-generational aspect is very hard to break through, and we must do that in the Chrysalis, because it won't be perfect without all of them, or all of us.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, in fact, the flip side to, with you here, like I said to Miranda, with you here, now it's perfect. The flip side to that is, if you're not here, it's imperfect, right?
Very right. Yes, we need everyone from everywhere, from every type, every color, every generation, everyone. No, nothing to make that division. That's what we don't need, the division, and any of those bring division. Because now the new division that was thrown to humanity was, are you vaccinated or you're not? So now that's the new division. It's the same with generation or color or whatever. And we need the chrysalis to be multi everything.
Exactly. And this is part of the yin yang, because everyone's invited, everyone is needed here, right? From all different cultures and languages and backgrounds at the same, so massive diversity. But on the other end, within the chrysalis, is the singular aim, the singular goal, right, of saving, healing, and intentionally transforming life on Earth in a way that we all design together. So it's taking all these diverse parts, but integrating us into a single whole, right? Because out of the chrysalis emerges one single butterfly, not 10,000 different micro fleas or maggots, but one single butterfly. So there's this yin yang between diversity and me, I gotta be me, I gotta be me, I gotta express myself, and one single. So I kind of think about it, here I am, this perfect, shiny stainless steel ball bearing within a larger Tesla truck, right? Yes, I am unique and singular and special, and that's all great. But I'm also part of a larger whole, the Tesla truck, which is also singular. So which is it? Am I an individual or am I part of a Tesla truck? Both, right? I'm an individual who is a perfect part of a perfect whole, right? I am a perfect speck of dust on a perfect butterfly wing. I am a perfect, molecule or cell within the butterfly's landing gear, right? Going on mute, passing the talking feather. Loving this conversation. We are intensely exploring the question, what is the chrysalis? What is it? What does it mean? What is it made of? How does it work?
seems to be activism.
Yes, activism. Let me add that to the list.
Definitely very active, like, media.
Activism.
By
You
the
know,
way,
I'm
I
really,
went to Home Depot today and I bought some trees. Well, not trees, but shrubs, and so I'm planting. To help.
yeah, beautiful. As you plant them, I just ask that you plant them in the name of the chrysalis. All right. So they're part of the whole. No, literally, as you plant them, please say this is part of the chrysalis. And no, I'm glad that you brought up activism. One of the challenges that Simon, who actually came up with the name the chrysalis in terms of applying it here, who I mentioned earlier, Simon Carter. One of the challenges he brought up a few days ago is precisely about revolution, because I saying this is a revolution. The Chrysalis Revolution, and he then brought up Extinction Rebellion, right? Which I personally have a lot of disagreements with. I love a lot of the things they're doing and standing for, and I hate a lot of their tactics. But one of the things is they're doing destructive activism in many cases, shutting down trains, shutting down bridges, etc., destroying people's abilities to get out and do things. And so in our case, what we're doing is very constructive. We're coming together, we're co-creating. In this meeting, we're co-creating the very meaning and definition of the chrysalis. In other meetings, we're co-creating different parts of the whole, whether it's solar radiation management or systems to feed everyone plant-based foods, etc., or adapting technologies to make all of this more efficient and reach more people more powerfully. So it's really about creation, co-creation, I'm going to put here, versus destruction. I don't think we need to destroy anything. I think the world is doing a perfectly fine job of destroying itself, so we don't need to add to the destruction. But it's fundamentally about co-creation. Passing the talking feather.
I think that's a very good point that you made about destruction, because a lot of people, and I would say maybe a lot more of the younger generations or before, are talked about destruction as a good thing and saying, yeah, you got to destroy and all this stuff. So I think it's a very good, important point to keep in the chrysalis about that. And seeing it that way, I think anyone can understand. Yes, we're doing plenty of destruction already, so do we need more? I think that's great, and it's very needed for all to hear it, especially some that are taught into destruction, which we do have. So thank you for bringing that.
Thank you, Sister Ivy. Okay, we've got 5 minutes till the top of the hour, at which point I'll pass the hosting stick to Eric, who will lead us in the glass beads game. So in the last 5 minutes, I want to take 3 of the last 5 and recap what we've covered just very quickly. What is the chrysalis? What is it not? We acknowledge that collapse is happening and it's exponential, and we urgently need to come together to do this. The chrysalis is holistic and all-inclusive. We don't separate out and say, well, my project is more important than yours. No, it's all, everything and everyone has a place here within the chrysalis. It is radical in terms of getting to the roots. Everyone must participate and lead this, not just a specialized class. It is decentralized as opposed to centralized power. The power here is maximally decentralized, totally, completely decentralized. It is revolutionary as opposed to evolutionary, though there are evolutionary elements. The chrysalis says urgency. The caterpillar says, we have time, we have plenty of time. Here's Melissa, my partner, my love of my life. Welcome, darling.
Hello.
And if you have something to say, just jump in. The chrysalis is about making it happen versus virtuous signaling, which we see tons of these days. It's about doing it now, as opposed to, well, let's sort out the money part first, and then we can, get on with the real work. It's about collective superintelligence, all of us together, coming together to form a collective superintelligence versus me playing my cards close to the vest and doing my own little hoarding game over here on the side. It's about all of us jumping in together. It is a singular, albeit decentralized movement. So there's some yin yang going on here. And it's chrysalis first, as opposed to, well, I'm going to do my project first. This is my issue. This is my project. I don't really know what's going on over there or there. No. You first come and say, what's going on, right? We come together. Chrysalis first, and then individual projects within the chrysalis. So bring your project to the chrysalis. It's about save the world now. It includes a protective membrane, creating a protective space within which transformation occurs. It is we, the imaginal cells, coming together, acknowledging the collapse that is both happening and worse stages are imminent if we don't come together and do this. So we have extreme urgency. Nothing is more important than this. It is both singular and multifaceted. There is a singular aim, or telos, which is also multifaceted. That singular aim is saving, healing, and intentionally transforming life on Earth. That's the shit. It includes using technology to our advantage. We've talked about some sort of a chrysalis mark, an identifying symbol. Maybe there will be many, probably. Think the Grateful Dead logo, for example, which is not centralized or controlled by any one group. Play with it, they say. Within the chrysalis, transformation occurs, as we say in Cork, Ireland. It's about home. It's about family. Love alchemy. It's a love alchemy. We are pioneers. We are survivors fighting for our own survival as well as the survival of all of life on Earth. It's about activism, but a co-creative activism, not destructive.
Could I jump in for a second?
Yeah.
I just wanted to say something about the language we use and some of the words that I'm hearing. I just wanted to propose maybe changing those words, because a lot of people, when you talk about collapse or extinction, etc., they go into a fear mode, and then it kind of creates this downward spiral and they shut down. And that's been my experience as an artist working with kids and families and people. And so I just wanted to, for example, when you say pioneers and survivors, what if we said pioneers and thrivers? Because we got to get into a space of thriving, not surviving. That's one. Thanks, Miranda, for your thumbs up on that. The other is right at the get-go, Jamin, when you were talking about, the collapse of the world. And I was just wondering, how could we talk about collapse in a way that is creative? Because the world's collapsed over and over and over again. If you read creation mythology, it's part of the cycling of this universe. And so what if we just called it transformation, radical transformation, which will invite participation rather than people, putting their head in the sand. And then there was another one you mentioned, oh yeah, everyone must participate. I would say we invite everyone to become involved and become a co-creator rather than saying everyone must, because there are a lot of people who just can't or don't understand or who don't want to. So it's really an invitation to participate and bring your specific gifts into the conversation and into this work that we're all here doing together collectively to bring about radical transformation, healing, joy, celebration, return to the sacred. Yeah, so I just wanted to suggest the shift in language.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, darling.
Just want to say hello, Melissa. Melissa, how are you, love? And
Hi, James.
good to see you. I haven't seen you for a while. And
Yeah, I'm missing you.
yeah, same here, same here. And I just wanted to offer my condolences for Fred, and I haven't seen you personally.
Yeah, thank you so much, James.
Yeah, but it's good to see you again, and good to see you. And of course, back with wise words again as usual.
Thanks, James. Love you, man.
Hello, Melissa. I like a lot. Thank you for sharing that. I like a lot about inviting to changing all that language. I like that very much. Yes.
Thanks,
People
Ingrid.
invite, yes. So you said inviting to, instead of participate, you say, what was that word?
Well, not participate, but instead of saying everyone must participate,
Yeah.
I was saying we invite everyone to become part of this. It's an invitation to get involved and use your gifts creatively to be part of the transformation.
Yeah, that's very good. Thank you so much.
It looks like Miranda had to go back to work as well. I just
Oh,
saw
did
her
she?
text. Yeah,
Okay.
she said bye-bye.
Okay. Very good. All
Thanks,
right.
Ingrid.
Thank you, darling. All right. It is the top of the hour, 3 minutes past. And we're now going to wrap up this current conversation on the chrysalis. Thank you all so much for participating. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Please look in the links to this video for more. And we'll see you next time.